going on, everybody? Warbringer or Jaiher here. This is going to be the intro to my Blood DK PvP guide for the opening rotations, getting used to abilities, all that good stuff. Later on in the video there will be a voiceover kind of demonstrating actual in-game content of what this will look like in the actual game. Now this is a Holy Paladin, Glama Golden, an amazing volunteer for the video. I'm gonna go ahead and duel him. So this is a Holy Paladin, so this actually kind of works for sort of a practical type of feel to it. So against the Holy Paladin, what I would probably do, I'd probably silence first, grab him in, and then slow him. Force some pressure. Usually they'll be back, so they'll be about 30 yards away. So that's the first opener. After that, depending on if it's a mage or not, say it wasn't a paladin, it's a mage, I'd probably do that same thing, but I would anti-magic shell afterwards. Or against a mage, if I haven't already seen him blink, I would try to get as close as I could, chains of ice, and then I'd wait for that blink. Then I'd grip back in, and then anti-magic shell, because I'm expecting a frost nova after that silence fades. So a few abilities to go over. First one, definitely Bone Shield. That's your saving grace. That's a big time damage reduction. Another one is Mind Freeze, Chains of Ice, Anti-Magic Shell. I don't even have that on my bar. That's insane. Death Coil, Death Grip especially. Death and Decay is huge against healers. We'll go into that. Raise Dead. Big heal with Death Pact, and that's about it. There's not too many abilities, it's just how you use them. So, for example, against a healer, right, I can be this far away. I can use this as kind of a support with Death and Decay. So I would put my Death and Decay over here to line him up and just make him stay linear, right? So I can put it over here, make him move away. Kind of helps my team out in knowing where he'll go. And usually they'll move out of the way. They can either move back, forward. What I like to do in World PvP is I'll put the Death and Decay there. They'll be far away, right? The caster who steps up, that's usually the person that I'll grip. And then of course, chain them while the team kills them. So there's not much to it other than that. I mean, you'll see that in the video I'm kind of just strangulating from a distance, anti-magic shell, chains of ice. Surviving, using Death and Decay to move things around, just kind of controlling the battlefield. A lot of people think that, you know, Blood Death Knight is just all about surviving, and it has no utility. I think Prot Warrior might have better utility, but it doesn't have better ranged utility, I would say. I think I can maybe control where the enemy goes a little bit better. But of course, Prot Warrior has that utility where they can absorb damage that other people are taking, stuff like that. So it's different. But I would say Blood DK is more my playstyle versus that. So I think that's about everything I wanted to cover before I went into the video. I didn't want to take too long. That's kind of just like the crowd control things. I know Bone Shield isn't very crowd control, but it's very important. I felt like mentioning it. So you'll kind of see that, and then in the voiceover, I'll kind of break it down even more as I go. And into the voiceover. Just real quick, something I forgot to mention is it's okay to not push all the time. I mean, sometimes there's just not an opportunity to control a fight, and it's okay to wait a little bit with your team, right? You don't have to be the one always pushing forward even when times aren't right, like, especially if you don't have cooldowns, stuff like that. With that being said though, a lot of times it is the right time. And contrary to popular belief about Death Knights being immortal, you're gonna die a lot. You should be dying a lot as a Blood Death Knight, because you're the one that's supposed to be leading the charge. You're a tank. You're supposed to be drawing the aggro, kind of similar to PvE. You're supposed to be drawing all the attention so your DPS is fine. They can dish out damage. So, you know, if you're entering team fights and you're not getting hit by 4 people, you're probably not drawing enough attention to yourself. You're probably not pushing hard enough. That's about it. I think that's the only last thing that I wanted to cover. Looks like it. Yep. So just make sure the timing's right, but just understand that you're gonna die a lot. You know, your kill to death ratio probably won't be the best. But yeah. Alright, so entering the voiceover now. We're just starting by smacking some dudes in the face. Not much to it in this. Now we see the team fight coming, and now we gotta prepare. So we're gonna set down the Death and Decay to control the battlefield. You'll see that Paladin moves out the way, so now they're all linear. Silence the Paladin, because I know he's gonna push towards our people in the back. Slow him down a little bit so he can't damage people. Now we're just smacking people. Smacking them. We see more people coming, so we're probably gonna get focused here pretty hard. We were glad actually that the warrior decided to follow us instead, because we can just pop defensives and eat all that damage up. So now we really just want to push them back as far as we can away from the objective. Just chugging, just training them out. Get away from my flag. And that's the name of the game for Blood Death Knight, man. You're just controlling the field. Like I said earlier, you're gonna die. You're gonna die a lot, but it's fine. Trust me. Your team will appreciate it. It's all about the sacrifices. Now, controlling mid is scary sometimes, especially when they got shamans up there that like to get aggressive, and you know, they like their little knockbacks and stuff. Those aren't really fun to deal with. But we're setting down Death and Decay to sort of create that line in the sand, but they made their own line in the sand way back there, which is fine because there's a lot of casters and stuff. I actually didn't know that there would be this many people, otherwise I probably would have held on to that Death and Decay and put it a little farther back. Same thing again, just popping defensive cooldowns, eating all the damage, and just pushing them back away from the flag. We do end up dying here again, and you saw how far back they were though. The team didn't push with me unfortunately, but it's fine. Right here, Death and Decay on the Shaman healer, Silence on the Holy Pally. That way the Shaman has to relocate, and the healer also has no way to cast abilities at the moment, creating that kill window for somebody. And once that first person goes down in a team fight, that's usually the first sign that it's about to start some chaos for the losing team. So just CCing, kind of CCing that Shaman right there, and then of course the Silence on the Paladin right there. Took both healers out of the fight for a few seconds, and they couldn't catch up after that. So right here, we're going to target this Arcane Mage, stop him from casting. We see two casters on the top, so we use Death and Decay to bring them back down. Grip the Arcane Mage back in, try to get a hit in. Now we've got that Fatal Funnel where everybody's down. That's huge right there because it makes it easier for the team to target everybody. AoEs are easier to cast. There's just more control over the enemy team, and it's an easy wipe because of it. Easy stuff. Boop. Alright, next team fight. We're aiming for that flag right there. We want to push them all the way back to their flag. You see respawners in the back right there, so we know it's about to get a little hectic. Silence into the grip, into the chains. That's pretty go-to for mages, pretty much any casters at all. You don't want them, especially a priest, you know, you don't want to grip them and then they fear or something, or disperse. We're just chugging along though. We didn't really have defensives for this one, but we weren't focused hard enough, so we made it to the flag. We pushed them back far enough. Died again. It's fine. I promise. It's fine. So right here, we Death and Decay because we see that Druid wants to get up top. We say no. They stay away from the red circles usually. That's pretty simple psychology. Stay away from the red. And it kind of creates that linear type of combat again, where you don't really have to look around too much. All the enemies are right in front of you. And then the rest of this clip is pretty much just surviving. There's not too much strategy to it. Silence right there. That wasn't even my silence, actually. Oh, this mage was annoying me all game. I actually trinketed that because I didn't want him to get any free casts off on me. I just said, give me that speed boost. But for this, I think I'll just let y'all watch the combat. There's not too much going on here. now there is something going on, and it's called a respawn. And this is where Blood Death Knight really shines, because it doesn't really matter, you know? Pop defensives, you just gotta live. Just gotta live and do damage. Best part about Death Knight is the more damage you do, the longer you live. So we get bubble right there. That was pretty satisfying seeing all of them melt. We're probably dying in like every single clip. It's fine. This guy, I didn't want to use grip. The guy dead on the ground right there decided to whisper me, nice try. He'll do it in a second. Rogue opens up on me because he sapped me, which is why I couldn't get the mage, essentially, that I wanted to really get, because that stupid mage, bro. But we weren't worried about the Rogue's opener. We're not really worried about Rogues too much as Blood Death Knight. This mage, though, on the other hand, yeah, we don't like him. He hurts. We probably could have done a better job right there silencing him after the grip. It's fine, though. We ended up using Death Indicator, try to get him to move. That stubborn little bastard didn't want to move. But we got some help from the teammates at the perfect time, because I'm pretty sure one more Arcane Blast right there, and I was toast. But yeah, just surviving long enough for the team to come and help. It's a road fight, not really an objective here. It's just kind of demonstrating the survivability of Blood Death Knight, keeping everybody that's attacking you on their toes a little bit. You don't want to just focus one target for the most part. You know, you kind of spread it out, make people play a little defensive. And that's it. Thank you.